Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the age of swipes, likes, and awkward opening lines. A whole generation is looking for love through a 5-inch screen. And in this digital jungle of dating apps, your bio isn't just text, it's your first impression, your brand, your elevator pitch, and sometimes your red flag parade. Now, let's be honest, most dating bios suck. I mean, really suck. They're either a list of demands longer than a resume, a collection of emojis with no translation, or worse, they're just blank. Nothing says, I'm emotionally available, quite like just ask, as your only line. So today, we're diving headfirst into the cringe, reacting to real dating bios and then fixing them, not to shame, but to save, because your bio could be the reason you're ghosted before the first hey. Let's start with a classic, bio-1, just here for a good time, not a long time, oof. Unless you're auditioning for a frat house documentary, this line isn't doing you favors. It's overused, empty, and screams non-commitment. Let's fix it. Fix. Big fan of spontaneous road trips, late night pizza, and deep conversations that end at sunrise. Looking for someone to make memories with, even if it's just one unforgettable night. See the difference. Still casual, still playful, but now we have personality and intention. Next one, bio-2, no drama, no crazy, must love dogs. This one feels like a warning label, and anytime someone defends against drama, it usually means, well, they are the drama. Plus, listing what you don't want is like walking into a party and announcing who you'll avoid. Fix. I live for Sunday hikes, dog parks, and chill vibes. If you've got a sarcastic sense of humor and love animals, we'll get along just fine. Same message, but welcoming instead of defensive. How about this gem? Bio-3, entrepreneur, gym rat, alpha male. This is the trifecta of try hard. Bios like this are a flex with no follow through. You're not on Wall Street, bro. Fix. Built my dream business from scratch. Still working on my cooking skills. I lift to clear my mind, but I'm not too tough to cry during Pixar movies. Now we've got depth, humility, and balance. One more, bio-4. Don't swipe right if you're not serious. I'm tired of games. Oof, this reads like a dating app therapy session. Look, it's okay to want something serious, but you don't have to guilt people into it. Fix. Looking for something real in a world of filters. If you're kind, honest, and know the value of communication, let's connect. Same boundary, way more inviting. The truth is, your dating bio should be a mix of charm, clarity, and authenticity. Instead of listing what you hate, highlight what you love. Instead of being mysterious, be meaningful. Instead of copying what everyone else says, show what makes you. And remember, you don't have to be perfect, polished, or poetic. You just have to be human, because the right swipe happens not when you try too hard to impress, but when you're brave enough to be real. First impressions count more than most people realize, especially in the fast-paced world of dating apps. You have just a few seconds, maybe even milliseconds, to capture someone's attention before they decide to swipe left or right. And while the profile picture may grab the eye, it's your bio that seals the deal. It's not just filler text, it's the first glimpse into who you are beyond your filtered selfie or your vacation photo from 5 years ago. A great dating bio doesn't need to be long or overly clever, but it should be intentional. It should tell someone what kind of energy you bring into a relationship, what excites you, and what makes you different from the hundreds of other profiles floating in the digital dating ocean. Yet, so many people either leave it blank or fill it with tired jokes, vague clichés, or aggressive ultimatums. That's like showing up to a job interview with a blank resume or wearing a shirt that says, "Don't ask me anything." People swipe not just based on looks, but on vibe. And your vibe lives in your words. When your bio is thoughtful, it signals that you're serious about connection, that you've taken a few moments to reflect on what you want and who you are. It invites someone to step a little closer, to imagine a conversation, a laugh, a spark. If it's just a list of hobbies with no soul, or worse, a rant about what you don't want, it turns people away. On dating apps, you're not just competing for attention, you're competing for emotional curiosity. The words you choose can create a feeling. They can make someone smile, relate, or wonder what it would be like to sit across from you with a coffee in hand. A good bio uses language that sounds human, not like a sales pitch. It's conversational, authentic, and gives the other person something to connect with. Even a short, well written line that captures your humor, your passion, or your quirks can make a difference. Think of your dating bio as the start of a story, one that someone else might want to help write. In just a few lines, you can show confidence without arrogance, charm without cheesiness, and personality without pretense. Cringe is more common than most people think when it comes to dating bios. The dating app world is flooded with bios that make people roll their eyes, laugh for the wrong reasons, or scroll away as fast as possible. It's not that people are trying to be awkward or unappealing, it's usually because they're following trends, copying what they've seen, or trying too hard to impress without really thinking about how they're coming across. The result, a sea of bios filled with tired jokes, vague one-liners, and recycled phrases that sound more like memes than personal introductions. The infamous "just here for a good time, not a long time," or fluent in sarcasm, or 6'2" because apparently that matters, are not only overused, they reveal nothing about who someone really is. These lines might have started out as funny or clever once, but now they're just noise. Then there's the bios that are unintentionally cringy because they come off as aggressive, bitter, or even a little too self-important. Lines like "no crazies, no drama, no games" might be trying to set boundaries, but they read more like red flags than green lights. They suggest past baggage, unresolved issues, or a defensive attitude that turns people off rather than drawing them in. Cringe can also come from trying to sound way too perfect. Listing your job title, gym routine, travel goals, and favorite wine brand might seem like a good flex, but it often feels sterile, impersonal, and like you're selling a lifestyle instead of showing who you are as a person. And then there are the bios that lean way too hard into mystery, the one-word bios, the blank spaces, or the cryptic quotes with no context. While the intent might be to seem cool or intriguing, what usually happens is that people don't bother to dig deeper. They move on. The truth is, most people just want to get a sense of who you are, not a polished brand, not a walking cliché, not a defensive wall of demands. Cringe happens when bios are disconnected from authenticity, when they rely on tropes instead of truth, and when people write for attention instead of connection, don't list demands, share values. That's one of the most important shifts someone can make when writing a dating app bio. Many people fall into the trap of turning their bio into a rulebook, a checklist of what they don't want, or a warning for future matches. Phrases like "no drama," "don't message me if you're not serious," or "must have a job, a car, and your life together," are more common than they should be, and while they might come from a place of wanting to protect yourself, they can instantly push people away. These kinds of statements sound harsh, defensive, and closed off, as if the person behind the bio has been through too much and now leads with fear instead of curiosity. Rather than inspiring connection, these bios create distance. They're a wall, not a window. When someone reads a bio filled with demands, it feels like a test, not an invitation. People want to feel welcome, not judged. They want to see if your vibe fits theirs, not if they meet all your requirements before even saying hello. A better approach is to talk about what you value, what matters to you in a relationship, and what kind of energy you bring into a connection. Instead of saying "no drama," say "I value peace, kindness, and honesty." Instead of saying "don't waste my time," say "looking for something real and meaningful." These kinds of statements reflect the same intention, but in a way that feels more open, more grounded, and more human. It shows emotional maturity, self-awareness, and a sense of direction without sounding bitter or aggressive. People are drawn to positivity, even in profiles. When you highlight what you love rather than what you hate, you shift the entire tone of your presence. You become someone who knows what they want and chooses to lead with it, instead of someone focused on guarding themselves from disappointment. Dating is already hard enough. No one wants to feel like they're being screened like a job applicant. Instead, they want to feel like they're discovering a real person with heart, humor, and integrity. Sharing values creates that space. It offers a glimpse into your world and allows someone to imagine being part of it in a way that feels mutual, not conditional. Balance, fun, and depth. That's the magic formula most dating bios miss. Too often, people lean entirely into humor, thinking that being funny will win someone over, or they go the opposite way and try to sound profound and poetic, which can come off as too intense or overly rehearsed. But the real magic happens when you combine both. A bio that makes someone smile and also makes them pause is far more effective than one that's only aiming for laughs or one that reads like a philosophical monologue. Fun without depth feels shallow, and depth without fun can feel heavy. People are looking for someone who doesn't just entertain, but also connects on a deeper level, someone they can laugh with and also talk to when life gets real. Humor is a great hook. It breaks the ice, shows personality, and makes your profile stand out in a sea of sameness. A clever one-liner, a quirky fact, or a playful observation can grab attention quickly, but after that initial spark, people want substance. They want to know who you are when the joke is over. That's where depth comes in. Sharing what drives you, what you care about, or how you see the world gives your bio weight and authenticity. It's not about being too serious, it's about being real. Even a single sentence about your values, your passions, or a small vulnerable truth can ground the humor and make it feel more human. This contrast makes you multidimensional. It says you don't just want someone to laugh at your jokes, but someone who can see the real you behind them. That kind of balance also invites a deeper kind of match. You attract people who aren't just looking to be entertained, but who are looking for something that lasts beyond a few witty messages. It shows you have a playful spirit and a meaningful heart, which is a rare and magnetic combination. Even little details can create this blend. A light-hearted mention of your guilty pleasure TV show paired with a line about what you value in a connection, or a fun story followed by a quiet insight into what you're looking for beyond the surface. That mix of light and depth creates curiosity and connection in a way few bios ever achieve. Don't flex, because your dating bio isn't a place to show off, it's a chance to show up. So many people treat their bios like a highlight reel, dropping job titles, fitness routines, travel destinations, and achievements as if they're pitching their personal brand instead of introducing themselves as a person. This kind of flexing often backfires. It can come off as boastful, shallow, or worse, disconnected from what dating is really about: connection. A dating profile isn't a resume. It's not about impressing someone with stats. It's about creating a reason for someone to feel like they could get to know you, laugh with you, talk with you, trust you. And when a bio leans too far into bragging, it creates distance instead of drawing someone in. Even when people are trying to be confident, it often shows up as cocky, saying things like, "I'm the full package," or "if you can't handle me at my worst," creates a one-sided energy that feels more about ego than engagement. The truth is, confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt through honesty, clarity, and self-awareness. Fixing a dating bio isn't about making it perfect or polished, it's about making it feel real. It's about rewriting lines that sound like everyone else's and replacing them with something that actually sounds like you. Instead of "work hard, play harder," maybe it's "weekdays are for deep work and strong coffee, weekends are for friends, nature, and spontaneous adventures." Instead of "I love to travel," Maybe it's most at peace when I'm barefoot on a beach or lost in a new city without a map. These little shifts take generic and turn it into genuine. They let someone feel a part of your story rather than just hearing your status. Fixing your bio also means removing language that puts pressure on the reader or assumes they owe you something. Bios shouldn't read like ultimatums or job postings. They should be invitations, a look inside your personality, your humor, your hopes, and even your quirks. People respond to what feels authentic, not what feels like a sales pitch. And sometimes fixing a bio just means softening the tone, showing vulnerability, or choosing words that reflect how you'd actually speak in real life. That small change in energy can shift the entire first impression someone has of you.